Blood Magick, you. Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Amy. If you're new here, I'm a witch, a spiritual guide, and an energy healer. And look, I've got a new haircut, right? If you're not new here, you already knew all that, and you've seen my previous haircuts and their various phases. So, you know, if you want to tear this one up, don't do that in the comments down below. We're all about love and respect here. If you love this video though, please do give it a thumbs up and share it with somebody else who can also give it a thumbs up. That's how we get 2 thumbs up. Also subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little bell button so you know when my new videos come out. Okay, mandatories out of the way. Let's talk about Blood Magick. I'm actually really excited about this. So you guys know that I am an eclectic witch. I dabble in a lot of stuff, and by dabble I mean get really, really, really intense with it for a while and then move on to something else. But I never forget the knowledge that I had before, and I really like having a large knowledge base. I really enjoy knowing a little bit about a lot of things. I feel like it makes me a well-rounded person. So, what's blood magic? You're probably gonna guess the answer to this, but it's magic that uses blood. So, first I need to caution you guys. Blood magic is the most powerful form of personal magic. It is eternal. It means that you're always tied to the spell, and there's no way to undo it, and there's no way to change it, and there's no way to fix it. So if you're not really in it for whatever it is that you're doing, do not prick your finger and do not put your blood in your spell at all, okay? We're talking about like love spells that use people's period blood. I know that sounds kind of, you know, but it's a thing people do. We're talking about hexes that use your own blood, or protection spells. Hey, blood magic isn't all bad. Protection spells that use your own blood. If you are trying to protect a person that you care about, or you're cleansing your house, or there's some stuff going on and you need to do a return to sender or something like that, blood is the ultimate sacrifice, because if you're asking for something from life or from spirit, from the universe, right, and you don't give it anything in return, yes, it can move forward just based on your own power, but as soon as you sacrifice something, Editing Amy just wants to add that the reason that blood is like a physical sacrifice is because your blood is your life force. It's like a physical representation of your power, your life force, your breath, your energy. So when you sacrifice a little bit of that, it's like literally taking part of your life and giving it to your spell or giving it to another person or something. So that's why it's so freaking important, because like if you look at your life as like 10-gallon jars of blood and that's your whole life and that's all you've got, and you take a drop out, that means something. That's a drop less life than you have. Now, I'm not saying that like doing blood magic is going to shorten your lifespan, but it is that serious. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Right, this is why like voodoo and hoodoo. Okay, so this is why a lot of like tribal and cultural traditions from like Africa utilize sacrifices, because the actual sacrifice of the animal or the person or whatever is an exchange. It's the ultimate exchange, one life for the next. Equal exchange is really important when you're dealing with magic. You if you're doing just a spell and you don't have anything to give in return, if you're dealing with deities at all, like if you're doing elemental magic, then you can just use your own power, the elements' power, and ask it nicely and do your thing, and it'll work fine. It'll be kind and sweet and nice, and you'll get a little spell out of it. But if you're asking for something really important, like, oh gosh, everything is important, but like, say you got someone who's sick, right? And you're doing like a spell for health. Say you really need a new job and it's like yesterday you needed this new job. Like, if you're if your life in some way or someone else's life in some way is depending on something, then the ultimate way to get that thing done is to trade life for life. You give an offering, and then the universe gives you what you need in return, because you said you are willing to make that sacrifice to make something happen. Now, I don't believe in harming others. Personally, it isn't something that I believe is okay. So I don't sacrifice bugs, I don't sacrifice people, obviously. I don't sacrifice animals. I use my own blood because it is an eternal tie to me, the spell, and myself. It will continue always, no matter what, even after I'm gone. And it's also a personal sacrifice, so it's not harming somebody else, it's not taking from somebody else. I'm saying I'm giving some of myself to see this spell come to fruition. So that's my sort of like philosophy behind Blood Magick. That's why I use it and how I use it. Now, there's a lot of ways to like incorporate blood into your spells. If you're going to be burning a piece of paper, you can use, I use sterile needle thingies. I just prick one of my fingers. Some people get like, you see movies like Charmed or whatever, they get all crazy, they use an athame and slice their hand open. Like, you don't have to do that. Seriously, a drop is enough. You don't need more than a drop. So just prick like one of your fingers. You can also use those
oh gosh, what are they called? When you gotta like test your blood sugar, the little like
lancets. You can use those to like just get a little pinprick, and then you can put it on the piece of paper if you're going to be burning a piece of paper, or you can put it on the candle if you're going to be burning a candle. It's really important that you're careful with these sorts of things. If you've got a candle already dressed in like oil and stuff, and then you go and smear your finger on it, like you're going to get that in the cut. Don't do that, right? Be safe. Be safe, okay? It's best if you can just like squeeze a little droplet like onto the candle or onto the paper or whatever and call it good. Or if you're doing something that uses water, you can put a little bit of it in the water, whatever. But it's important to remember that if you do something like that, it needs to go into a jar, and then it needs to be sealed tight and left alone. For health reasons and also for spiritual reasons, you don't want your blood going anywhere. You can't have it going in a river, you can't have it going in a septic system, you can't have somebody accidentally drinking it, you can't have it going anywhere. So you need to make sure that it is burned or properly disposed of in some way during the process of your spell work. Because also on a health level, guys, like you could be carrying any number of like bacteria or whatever, and like blood is how people get sick from stuff. So you just don't ever like have that getting into any sort of system where people could possibly encounter it, or animals or whatever. So you always want to make sure that it's like on a candle or a piece of paper or something like that that gets all the way burned up and nobody ever comes into contact with it. And that's my little cautionary health lesson for Blood Magick. But yeah, Blood Magick is, it's actually not pretty simple. It's not like a lot of the other things I talk about. And I've actually been waiting to make this video for a while because it is something that's very near and dear to my heart, but I feel like it's something that people abuse very often. And I'm not one of those people that's ever going to be like, don't do Blood Magick. But you better mean it, and you better do your research before you do it. If you guys have any questions, please ask me. Feel free to ask me, and do some research online, look in books and stuff like that. It's really important to take the proper precautions, and it's really important that you're dedicated to whatever you're doing before blood ever enters the equation. Gosh, thank you so much for being here, you guys. I really appreciate it. If you're not already, follow me on Instagram. Consider supporting me on Patreon so I can do more of this stuff. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a blessed and beautiful day.